So, I've just got home from the game against West Brom, and I've been trying to think how I'm going to start this match reaction, and I keep rehearsing it in my head, and it just led to me just keep getting angry, and I'm not getting angry because I would be putting in a lot more passion and effort than the group of players have done this season, and I'm not prepared to do that. It's not fair. They're not fit to wear the shirt, and it is the most avoidable relegation in my lifetime. I'm 25 years old. I've witnessed back-to-back relegations before. When that happened, we weren't in control of that. We were run incorrectly off the pitch. We had horrible owners, and we paid the price because of that. And the decisions they were making, it was awful. And then we had this amazing rise from non-league to the Premier League under what we would call good owners, but unfortunately, as a collective, it's not one person. Don't blame it on one person. If you can't see the bigger picture, then I don't know what else to say. It's not a one-person thing. It's a collective. Everyone involved has paid the price in back-to-back relegations. And for me, majority of this blame goes to the players because before a ball was kicked at the start of the season, these group of players were more than capable of finishing above the bottom three. But instead, we are the second worst team in the Championship. I think Plymouth are better than us. I think Cardiff are worse than us, and that's just me being nice to Luton. We are the second worst team in the Championship, and we deserve to get relegated. I can't believe that performance which we put in against West Brom, against a team that had nothing to play for. It's a myth to me because it doesn't matter. Because if you don't turn up and at least put in some effort in, you're going to get absolutely wiped the floor with. And I don't even think West Brom tried in the second half. We only scored the 3 goals because West Brom kind of just thought, we've scored 5. We don't really need to try hard. That first half, I cannot believe how we've gone from Coventry to that first half. I don't know what's happened throughout this week. Clearly, the pressure got to them. They're folded under the pressure, and they've been embarrassing. And it's been embarrassing all season. The fact that us as supporters were like praying for Portsmouth to win rather than Luton to turn it all around tells you everything. It tells you that everyone just lost belief in the group of players. I cannot believe what I've witnessed today. It was in our hands. We had control of whether or not we wanted to stay up or not, and clearly we didn't want to stay up because the players didn't put in that effort, that performance which we needed from them. A draw is all we needed. A draw. And we couldn't even do that. We just folded. And I don't want to see certain players in a Luton shirt again. I will be making a video next week about this, like I do every single season, which players I would keep and which players I would let go. As you can tell, I do want a lot to leave the football club, especially the ones that have got back-to-back relegations on their CV. It's a massive task. There's no guarantee that we'll win promotion next season in League One. Do not go in with that high expectation because there's no guarantee. You've got to do a Birmingham. You've got to put money on the table and splash the cash if you want an instant response back to the Championship. That's what you've got to do. So we'll find out soon whether or not the board and the recruitment team, whether or not they get that right. But the board have got to put money on the table. If they want promotion, prove it. Because if you act like you've acted the last, 18 months, then we're not doing it. We will stay in League One. I'm not going to go down the narrative of we're going to get relegated again and people overreact like they normally do. I'm not going to say that, but I'm concerned because the more players you keep at the football club, I think the worse it will be next year. So you need to get rid of as many as you can, and some are under contract. But I'm going a little bit off topic, so let's talk about the game itself. Starting 11, obviously Clark started ahead of Fane. I didn't mind that, but I wanted Cal Naismith to start. And as you saw in the last 8 minutes, he was probably one of the better players out of everyone. That 8-minute spell was brilliant from him. Why did he not start? And we got absolutely torn apart down our left-hand side. Amari Bell and Tedder Menji, I hope I never see you in a Luton shirt again. That for me was a player that just definitely was not playing for the club. That was a player that, for me, that was totally miles off it. I don't think I've witnessed a performance like that from a player as bad this season. That was absolutely horrific. Both him and Amari Bell got absolutely torn to pieces by, I think it was Fellows, the West Brom wide attacker. Brilliant. Outstanding performance from him. Every time he ripped him to pieces. And that what they did was, they noticed Amari Bell and Tenen Menji, they wasn't communicating with each other. There was massive gaps, and they just, every single time, exploited those spaces, exploited the gaps. I couldn't believe it. When they went 1-0 up, I thought, fine, okay, don't panic. I thought Thomas could have done better with that goal. I think he made a save. It came off him. I felt he could have done better at his near post. But it didn't help when Tenen Menji cleared the ball towards the West Brom player. Exactly what you want to do, isn't it? Not the first time he's done that in recent weeks. And then we responded quite well, got the goal back. Fantastic. But then, once we got the goal back, we kind of went down a few gears. And then we just allowed West Brom to dictate the play. The midfield, non-existent. West Brom, fantastic. You know, that for me was a team that has the quality to compete for those playoff positions. But for some weird reason, this year, they haven't been doing it. But against us today, that was a team that was more than capable of competing at the top end of the Championship. And the way they did move that ball about was fantastic. But we just couldn't get hold of the game. The midfield was really non-existent. And to go in at half-time, 3-1 down, like the second goal, you know, didn't stop the cross going into the box. And then we've got 3 centre-backs. I've been so vocal about how I hate the 3 at the back system. Yes, we've won promotion playing it. But one of the major reasons why I hate the 3 at the back is because centre-backs do not take responsibility. No way should a striker have a free header in the 6-yard box when he's got 3 centre-halves around him. Should never, ever have a free header at goal. I don't know if it was in the 6-yard box, but it felt like it was. And absolutely pathetic from our players not taking responsibility. Third goal, I don't know what Tenen Menji's doing. He's out of position. They exploit the space and, yeah, they get the third. And then you think, right, where's the reaction for the second half? There wasn't a reaction. They get the fourth. They get the fifth. We then have no choice to attack because what else do we have to lose? Because we're going down. Results are not going our way. And then, yeah. Ali, I would say, probably the best player for us. 2 good goals. Clark, yeah, great goal from him as well. But I can't say there were good performance out there today because I thought it was not good enough. Morris, for me, should never have started. I think in the interview, which it sounded like after the game with Matt Bloomfield, it sounded like he was injured before a ball was kicked. If he was injured, you don't play him because he looked so off the pace, miles off it. So that was a really poor decision. And look, people are going to say, blame Matt Bloomfield. Yeah, okay, blame him on today. But he's not the reason why we're getting relegated. He's not the reason. Now, people will point fingers and say he was not the right man to appoint. I can agree with you on that. He wasn't the right man to appoint. But that isn't the problem, though. The problem was we waited until January. We waited then. We allowed a man, Rob Edwards, who was defeated after that Middlesbrough game where we lost 5-1, to remain in charge for a further 2 months. That was what I call one of the worst football decisions we've made. Don't matter about recruitment, that was the worst one. Because it was so clear at that point he was gone. He was defeated. We were not the same team. And if you made a change then where there were more managers available, even if Matt Bloomfield, if we hired him in November, I'm convinced we would have stayed up. He needed more time because clearly the amount of games which we've lost prior to Matt Bloomfield, those 18 months worth of losing games, yes, that was in the Premier League, in the Premier League season. Yes, you can't help that, different quality and all, but we still lost games. And that carried on into this season, and we've not managed to recover. We've not managed to go on a decent run of form. We've left it so late to win 3 games in a row. It's so difficult to win 4 games in a row. It's so difficult. Even when you're flying high at the top end, to win 4 games in a row, it's so difficult. It's not easy. You need everyone on board. You need everyone with momentum, playing extremely well to be able to achieve that. But these group of players, get in the bin. Honestly, I'm embarrassed to wear this Luton shirt. And I shouldn't be. I should be proud to support my football club. But today is a really low point for me. This is the first time I feel this way about my football club. And I'm totally embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe what we've done. The most avoidable relegation. And I do want to repeat it again. It's not just one man. And I know I'm going to have loads of people saying Gary Sweet, Gary Sweet. It's a collective. The board decide whether or not to get rid of a manager. It's a collective. It's a collective in signing players, in recruitment. In terms of, losing games of football. It's a collective when players are not performing. Managers making poor decisions. It's a collective from why we've gone down. And I do feel for Matt Bloomfield because he's come in and I bet you he didn't know how bad it was. I bet you he didn't know. And then he found out after that first month, after not winning a game of football in the first 8 matches. I bet he found out then, actually, we've got a lot more work to do. And I really hope the board back him in the summer. I believe the January window was good. I do believe that. Ali, Asgard, Naismith, Makosso. I thought 4 players there. I thought had an impact, done well. I'm probably missing another player there. Isaiah Jones, you might want to put in that conversation. So I do think the January window was good. But overall, it's the older names that have let us down. It's just these pathetic performances throughout the whole entire season. We deserve it. And it's going to be I hope it's not a long summer. But it's going to feel like it. But I'm going to celebrate. Every player that leaves the football club, I'm going to celebrate because I'm going to be happy. I wouldn't be upset. Doesn't matter who goes. Of course, I'd be upset with the players that we signed in the January window, but I can't see them leaving the football club if I'm being honest with you. But anyone else, I won't be upset. And we've got to make ruthless decisions. Decisions have got to be made correctly this summer. Otherwise, we're not bouncing straight back up. League One is tough. You've seen it this year. But you've also seen if you back your manager financially and get good players through the door, you can go straight back up quite easily. But only if you back. But I don't know if we're going to do that. And right now, if you was to ask me, are we going to do that? I don't think so. So I just want to say thank you for everyone who's watched me this season. It has been, I would say it's been a pleasure, but it hasn't been because it's been horrific. I will be continuing making videos in the League One season like I always do. There is plenty of videos that will be getting posted throughout the summer. I'm live streaming tomorrow at 11 a.m. if you all want to cry with me on a live stream, and I'll answer any questions you guys have. 5 things which we learned from the game will also be out tomorrow. And yeah, loads of just content really. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Have a good summer, everyone. If I don't see you, if you guys don't want to bother watch my videos anymore because of you don't want to watch League One videos, I'm sorry, but I'm still going to be here next year. Still support the football club as I do. You're here for the bad times, and then you enjoy the good times when they do come about. And hopefully next year, it's going to be a great year. Hopefully, but I don't know. It's up to the board. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.